This next demonstration video in the sequence Introducing Intelligent Objects is going to show how we create internal walls using intelligent objects. Before we go on to that, we're going to bring in a couple of layers. One is going to include some elements of structure that have been created using conventional MicroGDS objects, and the other one is going to be a layer that we're going to place the internal walls on. So if we go to our window editor, press F2, I've already included the layers in the window, but they're currently invisible. So if we make the structure layer hittable, and you'll notice that I've filtered out the beams and the braces that are also included on this layer so that we only see the columns. And we're going to make the internal wall layer editable. Close that down, and you'll see that now we've got the 3D graphics for the columns in place and some 2D construction graphics to help us set out the internal walls. To make life easier for myself, I've decided to use construction lines to place the internal walls at the lower level. To make it even easier still, I need to turn off all of the other layers because there are lots of graphics that conflict with those construction lines and make it difficult to snap accurately. So if we go to our window editor, select all of the phases, make them invisible, and then double click the internal wall face to make that the currently editable phase. Let's switch to our 2D view and create a new object, internal walls, and as with the external walls we have to use the IFC wall standard case colon first facet, and we'll just type 0/0 as the hook point. That populates the properties window with the parameters that are appropriate for the intelligent object. So we set the style, and the values are now set, so we've got 100mm for the blockwork and 12.5mm for plaster either side. If we zoom into the lower left hand corner here where we've got these two smaller workshops, we're just going to use normal MicroGDS construction commands that you're already familiar with. We'll use the O-line command because the walls are orthogonal in this area. Snap to the construction lines, and then for this division wall we can snap to the position where the face of the wall crosses the construction line. If we have a look at that in our 3D view now, we can see that the walls have been created fully in 3D at the wrong height, so we just change the height here so it's suitable for this project at 3600. Any more walls we create will already be at this height, and we'll go to our plan again and just move across to the zone between the workshops on the left here and the showroom on the right, and we just start placing more lengths of wall. Move up to the next bay, slightly more complicated area. Zoom in a little bit further so it's easy to find the right snap points. So again, we snap on the points where the construction graphics cross. Slightly tricky because the construction lines are not central on the columns here, so it's very easy to find the midpoint by mistake. And that's the outer wall set, and it pays to think carefully about how you're going to lay out a complex set of walls like that. It's easier to position the walls between faces rather than lay the wall out and then have to adjust it later. It's down to your choice as to which is the workflow you prefer, but just a little bit of planning in how you place these walls means that you don't have to worry about editing so much. Just make sure we get the right point there, and we move up to the next bay. Now this is our parts desk, so we just have a hole in the wall that would be filled with the desk at some point, and then we're our final bay here, and this is going to be our staircase. Now if we look at the two sections of wall that are remaining to place, these are not orthogonal, these are actually curved walls. And what we've done here is, because these are very, very, very large radius curves, the faceting that MicroGDS would apply to these 3D walls that we're creating would be inappropriate. It wouldn't be accurate enough. So what I've done here is I've traced the arc. I've then applied a facet using the alter facet command, so that there are 8 panels, 8 facets between each pair of grid lines. All we need to do to create these is to use the trace command with a 0 offset, and it helps if we zoom in so we can see what we're doing, so we can snap on the points where the lines cross. We don't want the end there, we just want the point, and then we can place the wall that divides them. And similarly, this final section here, where we have another curved wall, again we've faceted this, and then just a little stub there that we need to make sure goes in, and the lift shaft here in the corner. I've stopped short there so we can use our alter vertex move command to just make sure that the walls match through. That's all of the ground floor walls done. So if we look at that in 3D, there they all are. They look fine, and you can see here the faceting now, which gives a fairly smooth curve around these walls that are following this large radius. Just turn on the rest of the layers. F2 to open up the window editor. Hit a ball. And there we go. Just use the orbit tool to have a little look at what's gone in there, so you can see how that layout works. Okay, that works fine. So we can move on to the next step. Let's just restore the view.